There's a big change coming to who can buy tobacco here in Virginia. Next Monday, if you're 18, 19, or 20 years old, you can no longer buy cigarettes or any tobacco products. 10 News reporter Tommy Lopez is live in Roanoke with reaction to this new law. So, Tommy, why the change?
It's an increase in vaping among teens. That's one of the main reasons for this change. We've heard from many people who are for it and many people who are against it. We're here at a convenience store in Southeast Roanoke on Campbell Avenue where there's a literal sign of the coming change. And many store managers say that this could be bad for business. Young people ages 18 to 20 will no longer be able to buy cigarettes, e-cigarettes, any tobacco products. Many people are wondering how it will affect 19 and 20-year-olds who have already started smoking. We talked to a 19-year-old girl off camera who was buying cigarettes and says that she's against the new law and she doesn't know what she'll do come next week. Others support the change.
The young people, sometimes they need supervision, and there are cases, sometimes the government steps in too much, but I think in this case it's a good idea. Including
a man who works in an ICU.
Seeing people in ICU and other units, it shows that the dependence on tobacco it's increasing, so if we can scale back, we could probably be a healthier nation.
And this woman who started smoking when she was 18.
Had it changed to 21, I probably would have never started smoking. I think it's a very good thing to change it to 21. I think you'll have a lot less young people smoking, honestly.
And getting hooked early.
Yeah, exactly.
Thousands of people reacted on our Facebook page. Sarah Woodyard says if you sign up for the military at 18, vote at 18, then you should be able to smoke at 18. Drew Cipher says, I think the government needs to worry more about things of importance rather than removing liberty from people of voting age. Active duty military members who are at least 18 will still be able to buy nicotine products. For the rest of this week, we're working for you to tell you all the ways in which these many new laws could affect you. Live in Roanoke, I'm Tommy Lopez, 10 News, working for you.